Well, good morning, guys and gals. You ever had that nagging feeling inside of you that says you're not done with that? You need to do one more test? Well, this is what I'm talking about. Now, to determine how I determined that the motor was indeed DUN done, I put in the factory replacement gauge. Now, this was a used gauge, okay? And, you know, this gauge, right, within the tack, right? So, within this gauge cluster, I've replaced the sending unit, or the, this one right here. I think that one worked. The tack didn't work. And we're thinking possibly that doesn't work. And the reason why we're thinking that is the fuel gauge magically quit working yesterday. I'm back in the car down the driveway to put it back home, and it just died. And y'all know how one dies whenever it's out of fuel and how it sounds when it's starting. You can tell it's not getting fuel or spark, but you know, there's something you're hoping is fuel related because you've already replaced the fuel pump and the sending unit, so both parts will be under warranty. I digress. So I saw that two gauges read the exact same thing that are electrical. They're electrical gauges. They go off a sending unit, right? Pressure switch, what have you. So I'm driving this car in and out like every other day or whatever, whenever the old shoulder ain't giving me fits, and coming out here to the garage and tinkering whatever I can tinker on, cleaning up very little, but whatever I can do, just because I can't stay in the house, you know what I mean? I don't like sitting still. Anyway, I'm rambling. It's for free. The way I should have called this on the final call was check it with a mechanical gauge. So we went to our famous O'Reilly's. We saw our buddy Lowell there. Oh, how you doing, buddy? And we got us a mechanical gauge. That is a mechanical. All of these, so to speak, are mechanical, with the exception of the volt gauge, which is electrical. But it's okay. So I'm going to show you. You're probably wondering, if you're not hip to this, how do I know if I have a mechanical gauge? Well, come on, get it. One, these at O'Reilly's are very affordable. These were like 50 bucks maybe. And look, just look at them. They are sweet looking gauges. So the good thing is, they'll fit right in that Mustang right there, the old Rustang. Okay, so the mechanical part, if you don't know if you have a mechanical or not, do you have wires running to the back of your gauge? Chances are, yes, you do. See that clear tube? See that union fitting right here? The compression fitting? That right there is going to tap into an oil source on your car from an oil port. What does that mean? This car has a sending unit and a pressure switch, right? Yep, I see you shaking. So what we're going to do is remove, where is it? You dirty burger. Looks like a bell right there. That copper looking feller, right about, see right there? We're going to unplug it, and we're going to unscrew that part, and we're going to screw this thing in along with that hose and run it off to this gauge. Why? Because that will tell me mechanical oil pressure, okay? And what that's going to do is allow me to see if I have a wiring problem, because in this dash, these circuit boards and all this stuff, they're kind of not so gooder. GM, you could have done a lot better. I'm just saying. I know this was early stages, but with the circuit boards and all that good stuff, that's a reason why I don't trust it now. Because the more I think about it, there's not really any signs. And this car is a low mileage car. It's like 115,000 miles or something on it. according to the DMV and such, and the gauge cluster and all that. Unless somebody just run the dickens out of it and it's got 200 or 300, but I don't think it does because it didn't have the rust for it. You know what I mean? Like not an Ohio car with that kind of rust. It would have been like totally deleted down here, and it wasn't. Okay, so now that I'm yakking, I've got the juices flowing. It's you know, possibilities are endless right now. The reason why I don't trust it is because of these gauges and the plug-in on the back where it plugs into the whole harness thingy. Somehow the dude broke it. I don't know. I don't know how he broke it, but he did. So, needless to say, whatever way this falls, this car is still getting that LS underneath that blanket. It's just going to be pushed back just a little, because we have to get this one done. We want to get this one under its own power, all that good jazz. And if this one's good, we're good. If not, it's going to get changed. I don't know when. Probably winter-ish, spring, somewhere in there. Whenever I have more strength than this other guy to help me out. But anyway, I'm going to take off that sending unit. We're going to plumb this in, and let's just see what happens. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance, right? All right, ready? Break. All right, so just to show you guys, I took out the old sending unit and screwed this right in the back of it. The brass fitting with the hose, see it? Hopefully you do. Screwed it right into that elbow. Now I have it temporarily ran just to here. And I have my gauge upside down so it looks better on camera. Dang it. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Well, we'll be able to see the numbers here in a second. As you can see, she zeroed out. Now, here comes, here it goes, okay? Just, you're with me. I haven't done this, really haven't done this startup yet. What does it say? You see it, don't you? So do I. The motor has over, I think it's about 25 pounds of oil pressure. Yep. So, what did we learn today, kids? One, GM gauges, you stink. And you know, legitimately, I've had this car sitting all summer because of faulty gauges. That's not a lie. The oil pressure is actually almost at 30. You can't see it, but there's 2 notches and it's in between. Looks like 30 and 35. Let's see, hold on. Each notch is 5. That's 25. It's right now right at 28-ish, 29 PSI, which isn't like through the roof oil pressure, don't get me wrong. But for something that was essentially not even gooder to drive, dang it. But you know what? I'm kind of thankful that I found out now versus later. So, nope, we're at 30 PSI. We're at 30. You guys see that? We're at 30 PSI idling. So, what does that mean for this here car? That means we take the tags that I put on my daughter's car to take it to go inspect it. We put it on the mullet machine. We wash all the dust off of this bird. And we enjoy it for like another, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks or whatever we got here left, till it goes downpour and all this, that, and the other. Okay, so This was a lesson learned. This is a perfect video. And the reason why I say it's a perfect video is because you never, ever, ever want to not do an actual test. I trusted 2 GM gauges that are 35 plus ish years old, and I lost. It was my fault. I did not do what they call due diligence. I didn't do my due diligence. And the reason why I didn't is because I thought for sure the gauge was good. Sorry, I was just letting it run. It's kind of nice knowing that I can drive this car again. So we have a faulty gas gauge. We have a faulty oil pressure gauge. We have a faulty charging system gauge most of the time because it reads that it's like 12.5 and it's at 13.7. We replaced the RPM gauge, and I can't remember about the miles per hour. I don't think it's right either. So nonetheless, I'm just saying, the mullet machine, she's good. She's going to get more gooder because we're still doing the LS in it. This just means we have more time. We have more room. We don't have to rush. And we're not plugging in this oil pressure switch. The reason why is if I do, the gauge will tell the car I can't breathe. And then I'm not working right. When we know in fact that it actually is, because we checked it with an actual mechanical gauge. Right there. And you see it shut off, so it went back to 0. We're good to go. One more thing about these mechanical gauges you can get from O'Reilly's. These things here, you can actually change the color of the gauges. So that's going to really help us out in the future. You just put these little covers over top the light bulb itself. How cool. And like I'm saying, these can match other gauge sets. Like anything with a white face, with a silver, you know, that. Who cares if all of them match correctly or whatever? I don't. They're going to go in this. This is project, super cheap budget build. That's my goal for that car. That's all I want. So now that I see these gauges and I have these gauges, we're going to use them in that car because they won't work in the 69. We're doing an LS, so I don't think that's going to work in that, because we're doing the digital Holley type gauges, which is what this will have now after our LS swap. The good news is we have the LS motor like done. Yep, got it done. So it'll be ready to go this fall, and I can slowly collectively pick up the last parts like the clutch, the bell housing, throwout bearing, and the, what was it? Bell housing. And then we'll be good to go with swapping that into here. But I'm glad that this happened the way it did. I feel like a big dodo bird for not checking it with a mechanical gauge. Usually I'll have old gauges like this sitting around. I haven't, you know, I don't have any, but now I do. Anyway, guys, don't trust old GM gauges, especially if a car's been sitting for a long time. More than likely it's wrong. Dang it. So, lesson learned. Hopefully you guys learned something from me. If you have that nagging feeling, man, please check it the right way. That being said, guys, I'm pretty excited. We're going to take a light day in the shop, and we're going to put this back together, finish airing up this tire, and we're going to clean the old baby back up. And yep, we're going to be cruising the crap out of it for the rest of the summer. The old Banditas is going to be getting a little jealous, but I've driven him all summer, so it's time to enjoy the mullet machine again. So sorry guys, I hope you didn't preemptively jump. If you did, sorry, my fault. I should have done my due diligence. I'm sure there was somebody saying at home, dude, did you check it with a mechanical gauge? Nope, I didn't. That right there's proof. So anyway, we're going to say that we was just trying to keep the mileage down on it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helps you. Lesson learned for me, and hopefully a lesson preemptively learned for you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Right Turn Garage TV. It just got really gooder for the rest of the summer.